Hello and welcome to a special live edition of Alien Investigations. As always, I'm your host Steven, and I've got two gentlemen here with me. Over to the right of me, we've got Mike from Matt and Mike's X-Files CCG joining us all the way from Oregon. Mike, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. It's my weekend. It's my Friday night. Let's party.
Yeah, and I think you came prepared too. You got a little chalice or something. I think you showed me a little bit.
Drinking out of my brand new Pirates cup this evening.
Very good, very good, excellent. And we also have 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 joining us all the way from France. It's 6 a.m. over there. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, wide awake, I trust.
Yeah, I am. Hey guys.
Excellent. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining once again for this special episode in which we're not actually going to be playing a game of X-Files CCG like we normally do. No, actually, this time we're going to be cracking open a sealed box of Premier Edition booster packs. That's right, 36 booster packs in here, people. Packaged all the way back in 1996. So very exciting stuff. I should probably be wearing a gas mask at this point with that age-old air that's sealed within these cards. You never know. So. Mike, as you know very well from having unboxed probably upwards of like 40 of these in your time.
Yeah, at least.
A good number of them,
yeah.
No doubt. So we do know that there are 2 ultra rare cards found in each box of 36 Premier booster packs. So what do you think, we could probably expect as far as, like, we all know they're ultra rares, certain ultra rare cards are seemingly more ultra rare than others. Mm-hmm. What do you think we can expect out of this box?
Well, first and foremost, you do have to remember that I'm trying to remember who it was. I know when they're watching this, they'll be like, it was me, but someone did successfully pull out 3 ultra rares in a box. So it is not out of the realm of possibility to have 3, but in all of the boxes that I've opened for Premier, however many dozen that is, I have pulled out exactly 1 Deep Throat. All of the Deep Throats that we have were either donated to us by, David May, or I think David Frank gave us a couple because they're like, you don't have Deep Throats in your deck? That's ridiculous. Here, take 5. And it was like, wow, okay, cool. But yeah, we've only ever successfully pulled 1, and it was a recent box. So I'd say it's the crown jewel, definitely. The least rare, ultra rare, is got to be Skinner Chooses a Side. And then, ultra rare Scully probably. But that would be my guess if I was a betting man.
Very good, very good. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, did you have any thoughts on which ultra rares we might find in this box tonight?
Oh yeah, well, I figured ultra rare Krychek and Scully Abducted, but it's just because I really want to see that card being played at some point. So at least I'm hoping it will be featured tonight.
It would be nice. I really wouldn't shy away from any ultra rare, but if I did have a preference, another Dana Scully Abducted would be nice to add to my collection. Currently just have 1 at this point, so wouldn't mind another one. However, as Mike was saying, Deep Throat, that event card is a crown jewel. Yep. And it is so it seems like there's very few people who can attest to having actually pulled a Deep Throat in a Premier pack. Like Mike was saying, I did acquire mine through a specific ordering, usually through eBay, over the years, or Voyager Promotions. Thank you, Mr. Mike Mackey. Of course, back when I bought my first Deep Throat from Voyager Promotions, I think back in 2004, they were certainly nowhere near as expensive as they are now.
Sorry.
This whole X-Files CCG revival, Mike, that you started, has just driven the cost of these cards through the roof now.
Well, regardless, Stephen, remember we talked last week or whatever, and I haven't sent them out yet, so I've still got these coming for you.
Oh, yes, thank you so very much. So regardless of what we pull out of this tonight. Yeah, I certainly have 2 ultra rares coming my way. I do appreciate that, Mike. Thank you so very much. You are a gentleman. And as you know, as we've been talking behind the scenes about, we're going to be bringing some cards to File Fest to give away. The contents that we find in here, a lot of these will get added to that inventory you and I have been working on, because we do have an excess amount of cards in our personal collections that for our purposes, we do not need to have this many. I have like often 25 to 30 copies of each X-File card in Premiere version. I don't need those many. So we'll be giving them away at File Fest in a few months. And yeah, just looking forward to, hopefully seeing a lot of you guys come out and, get some free merch from our tables. And of course, please take part in the tournament that we're going to be putting on, because, that's the whole reason we're going. So please, I think the tickets are on sale now, as of today. So you can get Mike, tell us a little bit about the tickets and, or at least art as it concerns us.
We really wanted to get an idea how many people were going to be signed up for the tournament. Initially, the idea was we'll just add it as a little extra option, and then we'll just go from there. But they had approached me and they said, could we add just a small, minuscule dollar amount to that, just to kind of not necessarily weed out, but try and get the people that are going to be more committed to being a part of the tournament, instead of just, I'm going to go get some free cards and then not show up for the tournament. So they added just a $5 deal to it. I'm still working on where that $5 goes. My plan is that it will go to Mike Mackey for providing all of these cards. But again, I still have to talk to them. You can sign up for any ticket package, with however many meet and greets you want. There's the J. Edgar Hoover thing that's like, what is that, $4,500 or something like that. Just come be a part of the tournament. It's $5. Day one, Saturday, is just going to be a workshop. We're going to be meeting people and shaking hands, kissing babies. And Saturday, the tournament begins. We've limited it to 100 participants. If we actually get 100 participants, a couple of us are probably going to be pulling our hair out because it's going to be a big, busy ordeal. But we'll make it work. So come on down and play some X-Files at File Fest this September in Minnesota at the Mall of America.
That's right. Yes, I look forward to seeing a lot of people come out to the convention. And yes, it hopefully, maybe a sizable number will show up for the tournament, though if we don't have that full set of 100, I don't think we'll be, as stressed out about it as possible. But I think logistically what we've got in the works is, quite sound. And I think we owe a lot to David May for his con experience, as well as Dave Frank, because I think having those two gents, in our ranks while we're there will certainly bring a lot of XP. As far as tournaments are concerned. Now, Mike, taking our attention to the cherry picking method that has often been the tried and true way of getting the ultra rares out of Premiere boosters. Tell us about what people who are fortunate enough to come across a box of Premiere boosters, what can they do to pick out what may be the ultra rare booster packs? What's the telltale sign?
Well, there's actually two, but one works increasingly better than the other. On the fronts of the packs, I don't have one here. You'll see that there's like almost a smudge that comes down between, I believe it's, if I'm looking at your screen here, max this out here.
Yeah, let me actually pull this screen forward so that we can wrong one. There we go. All right, so that should help a little bit.
Yeah, so there's actually, see how the light comes down and smudges between the X and the F? Yeah, right, and then straight down. And it almost looks like it ends, like the shadow doesn't actually blend in on most, but there's some that looks like it's an eraser tip.
Okay, you're talking about this. Okay, where the shadow comes down between this X or this X up here.
No, the lower one.
Yep, the lower one.
The X and the F, and then
Okay.
straight down to the down there. See how it doesn't uniformly. I know it's very it's very specific, but you will find that cards or packs that have that it looks like an eraser just stops, like the shadow just stops, and it's very, very blatant.
I do see it. It's but I'm trying to distinguish it. Yeah, it kind of goes about right to here and then goes right back up.
Yeah.
But how I'm trying to distinguish it from one pack to the next, because I have I'm holding what I believe are the 2 packs that contain the URs right here.
Okay.
But I'm trying to distinguish it from the other ones. It seems like
like I said,
it seems a little less pronounced.
Yeah, it's not
on the 2 UR packs. What's that?
It's not as telltale as the silver stripe. The silver stripe is absolutely unequivocally how you tell. You're looking for basically a lack of silver stripe, and what you'll have to do is you'll have to actually flip those creases over.
Yeah, and so I believe, so let me show you for those of you who are a little new to this, and maybe hopefully you can see it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so sometimes the silver lining here will be a little more pronounced, or it'll be thicker. In other cases, it'll be rather thin, like this one here. But for cherry picking the URs, it seems to be that the ones that don't have a silver line at all are the ones that are said to contain the ultra rare premier cards. So I'm going to set these 2 aside for the very end, because these are the 2 that, if you guys want to find out, you got to stick around all the way to the end of the show.
Dirty dog.
But we could be wrong. If I'm correct, Mike, we have been proven wrong in the past. Sometimes it has not always been true to form. Is that correct?
Yeah, somebody, I'm trying to remember who recently did get 3 ultra rares in a box of Premier. You got to remember, I mean, the history of USPC, they didn't exactly have, a fully operational motor kicking on all 8 cylinders at sometimes, like, I mean, you look at the Gregor's debacle, and you remember
I'm looking specifically at Dave Frank for that one.
Yeah, and I remember we thought it was impossible to actually get a Gregor's in a version 2 or a Truth starter deck until people started pulling them out, and we're like, what is happening? And then Dave Frank's like, oh, well, yeah, at some point we hired some people to just take some random card out and put a Gregor's in. So they're out there. We're like, oh, okay, good to know. So, who knows what was happening with some of these decks, man.
Yeah, and it's a shame, we don't have any of them here tonight, so we can, poke fun at their expert packing skills. So this one looks to be this is the very first one. It appears to be very heavy in events, which considering some of the sealed games I've played recently with Premier boosters, this is a pack I would welcome, because I have had several, well, maybe not several, I've had at least a couple sealed deck games in which I had about 9 X-File cards come up in it, including the one that I'm editing right now for episode 17, in which I did have not only 9 X-File cards come up in one booster pack, but 2 of the non-X-File cards were the multiplayer cards, which are absolutely useless. They're conspiracy cards, so you can't even sell them. So you just have to set those ones out. So of that pack, there were only 4 usable cards that I could include in that particular game, and that's the 3rd sealed deck game with Dave Meyer that I played. It was many months ago. Oh, but notably, the 2 interesting cards from this first pack were No One Is Safe and Lula Phillips.
Was that an entire pack of events?
Yes, every single card in here was.
I have actually never seen that. That's wow.
That is pretty crazy. So I mean, I like seeing that. That is what I want to see more so in these than actually all X-Files. But we know from many experience opening these things that we're due to see a lot of X-File cards come up. So this is the second one we have here.
It was especially frustrating when you had no money and had to rely on you could only afford like 1 or 2 booster packs, and then it ended up being all X-Files, and it was really frustrating because I knew that I had to wait at least 2 weeks or 3 weeks before I had enough money to go back to the store and buy another pack again.
Yep.
That is true. Of course, back then I didn't have anyone to play with, so at that point it really wasn't as much of a disappointment to me about what cards were in there. It was just the joy of getting to open up an unknown and seeing what was in there. So having a bunch of X-File cards come up wasn't as frustrating as it is today. So interestingly, this is the first pack to have some non-events or non-X-Files. So we got some taped intelligence and Medikit there. Those are the two notable ones. But yeah, this one had I think close to 9 X-Files contained in here. For the as packs that I've opened go, that one isn't actually that bad. So it does seem like there's an odd amount of the multiplayer cards. So far, I've seen at least one in those 2 packs that we've opened come up. And even though there are only 3 multiplayer cards, but I guess they were all common, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I see witnesses. Come on, buyers.
Buyers, yes. Oh, yeah. While we're doing that, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, why don't you go ahead and read off the submissions that we received in the Facebook group for 2 things. One, which 2 URs people guess would appear tonight, and the second one being how many buyers would come up. And so far we haven't had any buyers, but read off who's submitted some stuff so far.
All right, so we have Jonathan Hagee, who predicts 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 Agent Card and X as ultra rare, and he predicts 6 buyers. We got David Peace, who predicts 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 Abducted and Skinner Chooses a Side, and 13 buyers.
Ooh, that's a good number.
We have Andrew McCaskill, Skinner Chooses a Side, and Deep Throat, and he says no buyers.
No buyers, yes. I did get someone who didn't submit any, so I guess we can just put them down as a 0 for that one.
And he also says that you'll also pull the rare site UFO Wreckage, and you'll get 4 Dog Spinnies. And
okay,
I think
4 Doug Spinnies. Yeah, Doug Spinny's also a common witness. Pretty much all the witnesses that cost 1 RP are the common ones, and that is Sir Malcolm Marsden, Doug Spinney, Byers, Sheriff, the Sheriff from Blood, Sheriff Spencer, and help me out, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, Mike.
I was writing down
all the 1 RP witnesses is all of those have common status applied to them, and I think I got all but like one of them on there, which I think is not too shabby. I'm looking to 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 more for that than you might, because I know you are also currently hopped up on morphine right now.
It's just starting to kick in.
It's just starting to kick in.
So I'm doing good.
Very good, very good. So maybe you'll be around for when the ultra rare cards come up, or if you decide you're going to bow out, I think maybe I'll just decide to crack into them at that point. So
no, I'm good. I'm good for now. My back feels a lot better.
Did you
mention
it out,
guys? It's driving me crazy how many of these 3 multiplayer cards have come up. Well, this is again, I think every pack so far there's been at least 1 in there, if I'm not mistaken. So I know someone suggested a drinking game, for I think for however many buyers comes up, but I would say a drinking game for however many of these multiplayer cards would be a fatal game in the long run. So notable cards for this pack, which is the 4th one we've opened so far, are the Cellular Phone and Message from the Stars. Some That's decent ones right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I didn't think of this, Mike. Who would we have sign the cell phone if we were to take that one along with this to File Fest? I mean, unfortunately, they don't have Mitch.
I'd actually read the other day somebody asked no 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, and apparently he wanted to go, but he's actually doing a different con somewhere else that coincides with that weekend or something.
Correct. He's also on the show Supernatural as a something of a regular recurring character. I haven't watched it deep enough to see where he comes in, but yeah, it's a Supernatural convention that is slated for that same weekend. Dr. Hodge was the other one, and Billy Miles are the other common RP witnesses and Sheriff Spencer. So, yep, there are 4 of the common witnesses, but no buyers as of yet, and no Doug Spinney thus far. But we do have a few more X-Files, as you can see here. Combat cards galore. And another taped intelligence and medikit. You know, this is interesting, Mike, because one of the packs that I just opened a few minutes ago contain the same 2 equipment cards. And so there does seem to be some commonalities amongst, even though it seems from what all we've heard that it's very random. Nevertheless, it does seem that there's some consistency.
There is. If you look at the sheets, the uncut sheets, so basically those 2 cards, I believe, on the uncut sheets, they were next to each other.
Okay.
So what was happening is, as they were being cut, they would come down the chute, and then they would go into a pack, and they just happened to be next to each other. So you'll get a lot of warning from the Loa with message from the stars together. You'll get a lot of the equipments together. They're pretty typical. Adversary is the same way. Usually you'll get Operation Blue Beret with Alien Harvester, I think, is one of them. One of the pairs that come together or something, or the other Abducted or whatever it is. But hey, there he is.
There's our first Doug Spinney for the evening. Although we're not actually tracking him, but only because one person did suggest that we would see, what was it, 4 Guillaume?
Yes, 4.
4 of them. All right, and that is the first. So that is an unofficial, sort of an unofficial contest we're doing. But in the event that anyone correctly guesses not only the 2 ultra rares that show up in this box, but also correctly guess how many buyers show up, I got something I'll send you guys. I got something very nice, something you have not seen before. I will send that out should anyone prove correct. Notable cards for this pack, which I believe is the 5th or 6th one. Erlenmeyer Flask, always a nice card to have. And computer access denied. And we do have one comment. We have Madeline from Texas saying hi. Hi there, Madeline. Good to see you. She's actually one of my coworkers at work. So thanks so much for tuning in. Not as exciting as one of the games we usually play on these Saturday nights. You know, opening cards, at least for us, is not only exciting, but a bit nostalgic for those days back in the late 90s when we were saving our lunch money, going to our local comic shops, and buying packs of X-Files CCG cards. So, yeah, brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Now, Guillaume, tell us about where you, over there in France, where would you be going to buy your booster packs back in the day when the game was available?
Well, it was a comic shop. So there weren't that many comic shops here as I think there are in the US, but there was one in my town. And so they would have I remember they had the pack of booster on the counter. And so whenever I could, I would go and buy 1 or 2 packs.
And pray tell, how much were they over there?
Well, that's what I'm trying to remember, but no, it's impossible. And plus, back then it was in franc. So we have since switched to euros. So yeah, I cannot remember at all.
Mike, this is an interesting pack here in which it's heavy in the equipment cards, which I don't recall seeing that too many often in the packs I've opened. So that wouldn't be a Dave Frank special. Who would we attribute to that? Anyone from USPC Games that was a big fan of the equipment cards?
Not
be a Brian Woodward, would it?
No, not specifically that I remember, but it was just about how the cards were mixed up before they came down the chute and went into packs. Obviously, it was so bad that they had to re-release Premier as a second edition with Truth. So, yeah.
Guillaume, we have one late entrant from Nathan there. Nathan says, good luck on your poll, Steven. He's predicting ultra rare Krychek and Skinner chooses a side and only 2 buyers. Interesting. I haven't even weighed in on this, but of course, what I would like to see come up is a Deep Throat card. I mean, I think we did have Nick Kelsey. I think was the one who was one of the few who figured we might see a Deep Throat card. That's what I would want, because I would like, at some point in my life to have that magic moment of pulling out a Deep Throat from a premier booster pack, as opposed to ordering it online like most of us have. Ooh, Bounty Hunter and Alien Harvester.
There it is. Yep, that's an adversary combo. Yeah, just the way they came down the chute.
Chaos Orb, as we like to call it in circles.
Yep.
It's too bad they didn't get Brian Thompson to come out to this convention. They did get him at the one in Saratoga, though, so bravo to them for that.
Yeah, Shao Kahn's expensive, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Gosh. Like, he's like the only part about that movie that makes me actually like watching it. Like, it's not really a good movie, but he makes it interesting just because we know him from X-Files. By the way, Mike, did you ever get a chance to watch that documentary regarding the buried gold in Oregon, of which Brian Thompson also starred in a film?
God, no, that's right. I forgot all about that, man. I think I was at work when you sent me that link. I totally forgot about it.
We got another Doug Spinney here, Guillaume. Guillaume, thank you so much for being our a minute taker, as it were. And another Trust No One. That's another one that came up, which is good because Dax asked me to bring a couple of these to File Fest because he's hoping to get some autographs of that particular one, because they got a good number of the writers and even a couple of the directors from the series to show up for this convention, which is pretty awesome. So those like the Trust No One event card and the X-Files research card would be great cards to have some of those behind the scenes staff signing, because they don't feature a particular character on the card, so they're more generic. So yeah, the more of those that I pull from here will be very welcome, because I plan on bringing as many of those as I can to File Fest. And here we have another pack that is heavy, very heavy in the X-File cards, I'm afraid. Dissection. I just sent this one to David Peace. He just got it in the mail today, because surprisingly he hasn't had a chance to acquire that particular card up to this point, but now he has one. And we have a killer card there. I think that's the first killer card we've seen out of these packs thus far. So I had a question, Mike, that Dave Meyer had asked me earlier this evening, and I didn't have an answer for him. Maybe you could weigh in on this.
Yeah.
So he asked me regarding Premier Boosters specifically, Premier Boosters / Premier Starters. Are Frohickey and Langley limited to one or the other?
Oh, as far as being in a pack together?
Yeah, the packs are not together, but just their individual cards. Are they limited to just one or the other with Premier specifically? I do know for a fact that I have pulled a Truth Is Out There edition Frohickey from a starter deck.
Yeah. But
Truth Is Out There, as we know, was fixed. So, a lot of the problems were made. But with Premier, I was like, I don't know. I've pulled a lot of Langleys from Premier booster packs.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Frohickey. I didn't know I couldn't recall if I've seen Langley in a starter, and I couldn't recall where I've gotten Frohickey.
Well, remember that the starters were literally the banded packs, and then two uncirculated. I think was it 2 or 3? I think just 2 packs of boosters, basically. So you still get, I believe, the 4 rares, and it's just kind of put in there with the sealed cards. So
Madeline's like, I hear cats, and yeah, that is specifically one cat, my very annoying orange cat, who bears every resemblance to Garfield.
What's his name again? I forgot. You told me his name the other night.
Seamus is his name, Seamus Tierney. But yeah, if I'd known he was gonna be this big, I would have called him Garfield. But yeah, he's he has a annoying habit of coming in here every time I'm recording, and he only does this when this is going on. It's like when I could be doing something else, I could be reading or editing a video, and he just comes right in. So yeah, Madeline's like, orange cat behavior, good lord. Robert's joining us. Robert, before we get too deep into opening these packs, call out which 2 ultra rare cards you think are going to come up And how many buyers cards you think are going to come up?
Ooh, he's ahead. He's ahead of the game, man. The current number is 0. So
yeah, we have pulled 0 buyers at this point. So I mean, that is a bit telling at this point as far as how many of those. But
yeah.
I think we're only like a little over maybe a third into it. So it could be the buyers' cards are just tucked away at the bottom, or they're just only in the ultra rare packs. Who knows? No, that's not the case. Hacking the government files. Mike, tell me, are we permitting that card to be played at FileFest? I know commonly it's a commonly banned tournament card, but as far as which cards we are not permitting at FileFest, what are they, if any?
So at FileFest, there are actually 2 tournaments. What? The official sanctioned tournament that people can sign up for does have rules. If you sign up, you can find the wonderful video that Stephen made in regards to the rules. Great job on that. And the other tournament's somewhat hidden. And if you'd like to be a part of it, we'd love to have you come along, but you got to find it. As far as that tournament is concerned, everything's legal. Everything as far as being released cards. And yes, speaking right now is getting a little hard for me. I'm doing good, but getting my thoughts out is somewhat more difficult at the moment. So but the official sanctioned tournament, I think it's more like a augmented type game is what we're doing. So the specific rules for that will be coming out once we figure out how many people are going to be there. That's a little key. So
yes, because that unofficial one that Mike is referring to is limited to those who can not only those who find the hidden QR codes that he's embedded in a couple places. Generally speaking, that the ones who find those are probably going to be members of the inner circle, as in they're part of the Facebook group. They are subscriber to Matt and Mike's X-Files CCG. Those are the people we're talking to. Those who've been following the group for a while and following the channels and taking part in the revival. So yeah, that unofficial one is for you. And Mike, it's probably a bit too early to say anything about it, but we haven't had a meeting in a while. But I know I've been asked at least once in recent days. What, pray tell, is the prize going to be for the tournament or the unofficial tournament? Do we have any word on that at this point?
So I do know that there are going to be uncut sheets that are going to be offered up as some prizes. I do know that I personally have 2 No One So Paranoids that I'm offering up, as well as a bevy of other cards. David May is bringing I think he put it, well, I better get to looking through those boxes so I can find stuff to give people. So I have no idea what he has, but I can tell you right now, I want it. So if I want it, you're going to want it. So yeah, nothing entirely official yet. But trust me, it's going to be worth your while.
If it's coming from Dave May, something that has been buried in his garage for close maybe 2 decades now, that is something that you want to get your hands on, because we're talking like some Raiders of the Lost Ark relics here, people. Stuff that you don't see regularly featured on this channel or Matt and Mike's X-Files CCG either. So you want to get in on this action. So if you're coming to FileFest, you got potential to take home some little piece of X-Files CCG history right there. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, Robert did submit his. You saw that? Excellent. And we do have Studio Swim in attendance. Hi, David. How's it going? Thanks for staying up late to watch this. And again, this is another situation where, Mike, as you were saying about how certain cards were next to each other on the uncut sheet, because this is the second time I've pulled Hack into Government Files and Blackmail in the same pack. But still no buyer's cards. That is pretty interesting, considering a lot of the other 1 RP common witnesses have already come up multiple times, including are we on 4 Doug Spinnies by now?
Well, I had 3, but did I miss? Maybe I missed one while I was looking at the comments.
I can double check later because I obviously am going to inventory all of these afterwards. I think there were 4. I did kind of point to one while Mike was talking, but I didn't want to say anything. So I think that could have been the 4th one. But we have 3 or 4 Doug Spinnies at this point. But I will go back to verify, although that's not a part of this little unofficial contest. If I had more, if I knew beforehand I was going to be opening this today, I would have had more time to flesh it out. Here's another one right there. Yeah, and I am noticing another pattern with respect to these 4. They are 5 actually. They are the ones that I guess they were next to each other on the uncut sheet, so they are coming up very recurrently in these packs. But yeah, I guess buyers was. I'd have to look, but yeah, I guess buyers was on another line or column altogether.
And so we saw hack into the government files, and how do you guys interpret that game effect? Because I always figured your collection meant any card that you had available to you, whether it was already in your deck or you just had to go to your binder and find it. But is that how you would play it?
So we've spoken to, Matt and I spoke at great lengths about this to David May, and the official intention of that card was to be, your collection was your cards that you were playing with. So resource pile or your discard pile, and that was it.
Okay.
And I previously had been in the school of thought that they're talking about anywhere, which I thought justified the 5 RP cost of the card. However, in recent times, I've leaned more towards what Mike was saying, and I believe, and especially this has been the case after helping or developing the season 4 expansion, just how limited text space was on cards, to the point where they had to come up with some succinct ways to refer to things. Yeah. And so I think what it was, and because that is a very text heavy card, the hacking the government files. So I think what it was is they were trying to find a succinct way to say the bureau deck and your discard pile. So they just went with what your collection is, what it says, or something like that.
Yeah,
which I get. It is, again, that it's a very vague term, but sometimes they can't quite see some of the particular flaws in writing these cards. They may not see that, and they may not even come up in the playtesting. And so it probably wasn't until tournaments were going on with this that they finally realized, oopsies. Maybe, that could have been spelled out a little better.
Yeah,
go ahead, Mike.
I think it was Surfing the Net that was.
The game? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Surfing the Net is the one that is really text heavy to the point where you can't almost read anything. But there was some room on hacking to the government file. They could have added something to make that more clear. But again, as you say, maybe it was clear to them, and it was only once it was released that they realized it was not as clear to people.
Speaking of Surfing the Net, there it is right there. Yes, one of the more text-heavy cards of all of the commercially released cards, really. And I think you're right. Yeah, there is a noticeable difference in the font size for that particular one. I think what it is that, I'm inclined to think that maybe they just did not foresee there being some confusion amongst themselves. And sometimes it's till you not get outside eyes looking at these cards that some of those potential issues, they're not spotted until you get some outside parties looking at them and noticing that what you have been looking at for number of times, reviewing and re-reviewing and rewriting and just not seeing it. You just become blind to certain aspects of these cards because you've been working on them for so long, and it's just not till someone with fresh eyes comes in and is like, oh, well, but what about that? It's like, oh, course. And that just could have been with that particular card, regardless of how many times it was play tested.
Yeah,
it just it never came up. And of course, considering it costs 5 RP, how many people play testing that card are just like, it sounds fine to me, I'll just sell that for CP because I need some CP at this point. So maybe they just didn't bother really getting into trying out that card because it's like, it seems mechanically sound to me at a glance, but turns out it wasn't.
And it also could have been Fox or 1013. Like, oh God, we've been fighting with these guys for the last, 6 weeks on this one card. Oh, they're approving it. Just get it out of here. Go, it's fine. It's fine. So
these are some couple nice, really rare cards that came up here: Plague of Locusts and Kiss of the Vampire. Neither of which we really use too often in our games. There are a lot of X-File cards that, especially in Premiere, I would say more, and 1013 as well, that you just don't see too much in the games because either they're too expensive or their effect just doesn't seem to be as worthwhile. That's worth a discussion at some point. So yeah,
Kiss of the Vampire could be a fun one to play. But
it could be if you could afford it.
Yeah. It's expensive, and you do need to have a witness. Although you could turn Kevin Morris into the second vampire. David would like that.
David would very much. Oh wait, does it have to be one that's modifying a skill check though?
No, it just says plays.
Nope, you're right. No. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I thought it was a witness that modifies a skill check, which would exclude Kevin Morris, but you're correct on that. So maybe maybe we need to do something like, and this is for Nathan. If you're still with us, Nathan, maybe what we need to do is something similar to what we did with the Alien Bounty Hunter, where we came up with a card where it would facilitate playing the Alien Bounty Hunter, but for a lesser cost. So maybe Nathan, who's going back and doing the expansion that revisits the early seasons, maybe take a look at that episode and see how can we get Kiss of the Vampire in there to make it a little more appealing, because the effect is pretty interesting in what it does. It's kind of like got two adversaries coming at your team, not entirely unlike the Margie and Terry Kleingen combo there, which would make it interesting, but it's just the cost that's hard to get past. Again, these multiplayer cards are so frustrating to me, though I do like me some deductive reasoning. We just don't see that one played very often as well. DM, as you probably saw, we have Joost in attendance. Hey, Joost, good morning over there in the Netherlands. So you do have some suggestions for us as well. Deep Throat and 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, ultra rare 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, that is, and 2 buyers. We are getting down. It's getting down there, gentlemen. We have not seen 1 buyers as of yet, which is
that's sketchy, right? Like,
that is very sketchy. I was like, are we going to see some ultra rares too, or are they just all absent?
I'm kind of wishing I played that drinking game at this point, man.
Yeah, you'd be like stone sober at this point, man. If
we just pretend like Spinny is a buyers because I need to.
Yeah, seriously. So he's got the the mustache and the brown hair, so it's like he could pass for buyers. Just replace the suit with a worn jacket, and there you go. You got buyers. I think we got about maybe I don't know. It looks like about 8 packs left to go. So we are really getting down to the final stretch here. All
right, I'm gonna go refill my grog really quick.
Because for those of you just joining, I set aside the 2 ultra rare packs based on the lack of a silver lining on the side here. So these are the ones that we believe are containing the 2 ultra rares, saving it for the end because, of course, we are a YouTube channel and we do like to have some views. So stick around to the end and we'll find out if anyone's predictions had proven correct. David P says, "Come on, buyers, I'm thirsty." Your liver's very grateful that no buyers have shown up at this point.
Although I think what buyers and Doug Spinney have in common is that we never used them during any of our games.
That is very true. That is very, very true. However, if I'm not mistaken, it was Nathan for whom recently playing a buyers in the course of a deck game actually proved to be a critical play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think
I'm fuzzy on the details right now.
Yeah, I think the only instance where you would have buyers in your deck is if you play a sealed card game and you just happen to draw him.
I do recall a game that Mike once played with Matt, in which you played the Hidden Grave event card to search through your opponent's discard pile to get the witness that you needed to get you out of a jam. You were in a jam. You needed a bureaucracy witness to help you out of that. And you thought that Matt had a bureaucracy witness in his discard pile, but it turns out it was buyers.
Yeah,
and you're like, goddamn buyers. Oops.
Well, I mean, how many times, for any this question for all of us, have you played a card and then realized, oh well, I just wasted that? Like, you know, you just didn't either think it through, or I mean, that happened on our game recently, I think, Stephen, where I played something that was like, oh yeah, never mind, that was a waste of time.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what it was though.
Yeah, it was something weird.
It was, yeah. I'd have to go back. I mean, eventually I'd go back. No, we didn't record that one, so I can't go back and check.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dark Forces Align. Another. This is the second unexplainable time loss that has come up out of these packs here. So very good card. Very good card. Mike, do you happen to have your unexplainable time loss with you right now?
I do. Yeah, I think it's just sitting right up here. I think.
Very cool. That's always the cool one to show. And I believe you're planning to bring that to File Fest to put in the display case with some of the other gems.
Yeah. So Dax made us our own.
Let me just put you right up in here real quick so you can show those.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. One
for Matt, one for Mike.
Yep.
Very cool. And anyone who's familiar with the channel, Matt and Mike's X-Files CCG, would know that is from their intro scene. So that is a nice little homage there, come courtesy of, as you said, Mr. Dax Golding over in the UK. Maybe we should do our own version of Unexplainable Time Loss game while we're at it. We have our cards already covered.
Be sweet. Yeah, that whole intro was just such like, oh my god, man.
It's music to my ears.
Well, I don't know, and I mean, I'm sure I've told you before, and I don't know if I've mentioned it, but like, I was just like, man, just come up with a song. You can do it. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know, man. Just come up with something. All right. And I go to work. I come back, and he's like, all right, put some in your email. I'm like, all right. And I just, Mike and Matt, bring it back. And it was just so horrible. It was so stupid. I was like, that's it.
It works. It really does work. And, you know, for us, it's just one of those theme songs that's like, much like, you know, the theme song of your favorite show, you wouldn't want it to change. You just keep it the same. Don't make any differences to it. No updates, even if your cast changes or anything like that.
Yeah.
Keep it exactly as it is. It's just, you know, it's like painting a mustache on the Mona Lisa, as it were. But I'm sorry, I'm comparing Matt and Mike's intro to the Mona Lisa. Maybe I'm the one who's been kicking back too many of those hard lifters. So again, I'm seeing all the common witnesses except buyers coming up in this. So I don't know. I'm beginning to worry, people, if we're going to actually see buyers tonight. We've already seen 2 deaths of Jack Willis come up.
Cards right there.
2 very rare killer cards come up, but yeah, not a single buyers. And we are down to 7 packs. 7 packs left. Not 1 buyers.
I better throw this up here. Oh, here we go. Current buyers count 0.
Yeah, I feel like these are going to be like the ones that he's just going to start showing up in now. Because I kid you not, I've got like close to 20 buyers witness cards in my inventory here, Mike, and I know you've got probably double that over on your end here.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, and this one's actually got a couple of nice combat cards that, again, we haven't. Oh, Frohickey. There's one Frohickey, so that dispelled the question that Dave Meyer, I don't believe he's watching because it's a bit late for him. But yeah, he was asking me earlier tonight how frequently Frohickey and Langley would come up in Premier booster packs versus starter decks. So there's one Frohickey. We have not seen a Langley in any of these packs tonight either.
Ooh, look at what Joost is calling.
2 buyers in your UR packs at this point. He's gonna be the UR.
Dude, Joost, if that happens, dude, I'll send you something nice too. That would be such
if he's only in these 2, holy cow. Man, that is interesting. But yeah, no buyers. That's crazy. Because you got Mike, you did one of these episodes where you and Matt open these up, and I recall like Dave Frink was calling out every time a buyers came up, and it seemed like there were a few times when you were doing that giveaway on the channel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's just interesting. the lack of collation on these cards just really made for some notable absences. But first warning from the Loa that's come up. I'm a fan of that particular card.
Yeah, buyers was more common in Truth because the mixing of the cards, the collation was a lot better. So you got a more even amount of types of cards in the packs. So he showed up more often in the Truth.
Yeah, so buyers, you are like we've had only 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬 as far as Lone Gunman come up. So yeah, will he come up in these last 4 packs? I mean, who knows?
Wow.
It doesn't seem like it. So it could be the person who predicted 0 might be onto something there.
We haven't seen any 𝐴mil and 𝐗 either, have we?
No, we have not seen those. Those are RP2 witnesses. A little less uncommon, I believe, or rare.
I'd be willing to bet an 𝐴mil and 𝐗 will probably be with the buyers. That would be my guess.
Yeah. I think you're, because I did open some other Premier boosters not too long ago. Yeah, I think you're right on that. But yeah, we'll see if we can verify that with the remaining 4, including this here. Again, another very heavy on the X-File one. But again, that's a nada. And actually, it's pretty much a spitting image of the one I just opened a moment ago. Yeah, that's interesting. So a couple more Skinner chooses aside. I'll be bringing some of those because we do have Mr. William B. Davis attending File Fest, which is a pretty cool get. Wasn't expecting they'd be getting him. So this is the last Premier from the box that's not been set aside, and then we'll get to the 2 ultra rare packs in just a moment. So let's see what's in this one. All right, so this is what everyone, we're coming to the point where everyone's been waiting for, to see which 2 ultra rares have graced this particular box. And Trap, Hidden Grave, True Grit, and a Samuel Hartley as the standout ones in that one. And so that is 34 of the 36 packs right there, ladies and gentlemen. So now, here they are. These, if we are correct, and we should be because we have opened 34 packs, and unless somehow I got gypped again, and this wouldn't be the first time on a box of Premier boosters, these should contain our ultra rares. So
is that cool? Can you still say that, gypped?
Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad PC word?
Well, it's a reference to gypsies stealing.
Oh shoot! Help me out, Madeline. I know you're very up to speed on the politically correct and Gen Z vernacular. So help me out if you're still watching. All right, so maybe I do need to pull this and edit it just to get that one word out of there. So, oopsies. All right, so what ultra rare?
Okay,
back. Let's find out. It's coming up. We got a Flaming Wall. That is the first time that's come up, but that's not our ultra rare. I got a couple that are turned over. What are they?
Oh, that's good.
We have ultra rare Dana Scully. So, tell us who we got. Mike was one of them. Mike did predict ultra rare Dana Scully as one of his 2.
Yeah, and
who else?
I think that's and Jonathan 𝐗 also.
Jonathan 𝐗. All right, so it seems like pretty much everyone's out as far as buyers is concerned, because apparently buyers is non-existent unless he's in this last pack. But yeah, so Mike, you and Jonathan, you guys are on the line. I will say at this point we'll set aside the buyers. If either of you are correct, I'll send you guys some very special cards from this little stack I have over here. All right, so let's see. Mike, you once again, you predicted who as your other one? Skinner chooses a side. 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, what did Jonathan say?
X.
Oh, gosh. I'll take it. I mean, really, the X is nice, but I'm really hoping for the Deep Throat card. Oh, Terminal Damage. That is a rare killer combat card right there. Oh, Mike, Jonathan, I'm afraid neither of you are correct on that. It is ultra rare Skinner. Ultra rare Skinner was the other one that was in there. So, wow. No, I don't think. Did anyone even suggest Skinner as the ultra rare?
Robert suggested skin.
Okay. Oh yeah, Robert, last minute there. Yeah. So good call on that particular one. What was Robert's other one? Was what Skinner? I think a lot of people had Skinner chooses a side.
Was Scully abducted?
All right. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the bottom of that 36 pack of ultra rare, or sorry, of booster packs, and the last one is a very rare massive internal damage, and the rare combat cards were in this one. That was interesting. Check that out. The rare killer cards were the rare killer combat cards were in that particular pack with the ultra rare as well. So gosh, it's very, very, very interesting. I've got to go look at that uncut sheet, Mike. Does Mackie have that, or Truth is out there on his?
They're Truth sheets, but they're similar because they're put in card numbered order, so they're pretty much the same as Premier. It's just
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't. Yeah, we'll have to probably find some uncut sheets of Premier somewhere. I don't know where we can find one. Do you know where we can find any, Mike?
The uncut sheets.
Yeah.
Yeah, File Fest.
File Fest. There you go, Lee. I was trying. Yeah, that's what I was hoping you would say.
He
work that back in.
He doesn't have very many. In fact, I don't think he actually has them for sale anymore. But like, this is it, guys. Like, if you want an actual uncut sheet of any kind from this game, this is the only way that you're going to get it at this point. We were really lucky, Matt and I, because, and I don't know if I've told this story before, but I convinced him to let us borrow some uncut sheets for our show, just to show people. And then we had them, and he said, you know what? You guys can go ahead and just go ahead and keep them. You've been helping me out. And we're like, thank you. It was so crazy. So, if you want an uncut sheet, man,
this is your last chance, people.
Yeah.
So you better get out to File Fest if you're looking to get one, or you better hop on eBay and get one from Mike Mackey before he brings them all out to File Fest and sells them all.
I don't even think they're on there anymore.
I just ordered one not too long ago, and so Jonathan actually just ordered a couple too. So you know what? You might be right. We might not have any in. He might not have any more left on his site because we just bought the last ones, unless he took them down because he was, as you said, planning to bring them out to File Fest in a little bit. Madeline actually recalling earlier, instead of saying gypped, say bamboozled. It's a good word.
Oh, he does.
I haven't actually used that word before in any regular conversation, but I'll do it now.
So there is actually, he does have the rares from Truth on there right now for $69.99 plus $21 shipping. I didn't think he had any left, so that's interesting. He must have found some. I know he sort of has a stash of stuff tucked away like Dave May does, so maybe he found some more. But wow, that's pretty cool.
Nathan says, give away a Skinner, another will find you. He's referring to the ultra rare Skinner that I had just sent to him. Joost, you're watching. Just so you know, the ultra rare Skinner just made its way to Nathan today. So as Nathan told me, he'll be working on getting your cards sent out to you this weekend. Expect that in not too long. So you'll be a little closer to completing your collection of X-Files CCG cards. So Mike, one other thing I wanted to ask, and I don't know, maybe this is a question for the Daves, but we got this stamp here. Sorry, I can't. The ring light is obscuring it here, but we have this number here on the box. Any thoughts on what that refers to at all?
It should have been the production number for the number of boxes that were made. That number was put on the outside of 1013, but it was on the inside for all premieres. But the interesting thing is, I don't think it was uniform.
Yeah, because I'm just opening, I have several of these boxes, and they all seem to begin with 663.
Yeah, so I have 63192 on this box, but on this box, it doesn't have a number.
Oh, interesting. And what box is that? Is it Premier or Truth or
Premier?
Premier.
So I think it was something that was probably I don't know, maybe it was done secondary. I'm not sure. But kind of cool, man. Still mysteries out there, right?
Yeah, so many mysteries, so many questions we have to get answered, and we will certainly be doing that. So yeah, you just have everyone just stay tuned because we do have some more revelations in the works. And so, all right, so that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So if I get my hands on another box of Premiere, I'm sure I probably will be cracking that in the near future. Because yeah, like I said, I want to plan on bringing some of these cards out to File Fest, like Mike, to just take part in giving them away.
Yep.
For those who come out. So I got a nice little stack here I need to inventory, and then yeah, hopefully I can get my hands on another one. But these unfortunately are getting to be very hard to find these days. I look at eBay every couple of days and see what's out there, but of course what we can find is unfortunately way overpriced at this point. I can't find anything for less than $80 as far as Premiere or Truth is Out There boxes go. I mean, Truth is Out There 1013, those are triple digits at this point, and unfortunately that is a gross sticker price to slap on these, even if they are hard to find at this point. But it's just an indicator of just how few of these that there seem to be remaining out there.
Yep, exactly.
But we do have some people in our inner circles who do have some, and they are actually watching tonight, so maybe they'll be interested in doing something similar on either their own channel, or welcome to come on to this one and do the same thing. It's always fun cracking open these packs. So I think with that, I will sign us off for the evening. I do want to thank Mike again for joining us, despite having a little bit of a rough day at the office there. And but you toughed it out, and I'm grateful for you, sir. And I'm also grateful to you, 𝐗-𝐅i𝐥e𝐬, for waking up at the crack of dawn to help track which cards we'd open. So yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Yeah, so we'll probably do another live game next Saturday. We did miss it last week, but we'll get to talking in our group about what we're going to do for next weekend. Probably just go back to a regular game unless something else comes up. If we get some other ideas, which you're always welcome to leave comments while you're liking and subscribing to this channel. Drop a comment and let us know what you want to see in some of the upcoming games and videos that we're doing here. All right, so everyone, I'll say good night. Gentlemen, thanks again for joining me. Always a pleasure to have you. And be sure to tune in next time for another exciting edition of Alien Investigations.
Bye.